Hello, everyone. My name is Julia Sherbak. I am a specialist in overseas real estate, residence permit, and citizenship programs at Nevestate. And you are now on our channel where we talk to you about foreign real estate and introduce you to our partners and developers. Today, we are going to talk about real estate in Turkey, more specifically in Istanbul. And for this, I have invited our partners, the developers. Amina, good afternoon. Hello. Today, I want to present your project, which is beautifully located in the vibrant city of Istanbul. We have carefully singled out this particular project from all of yours because it is truly quite unique for Istanbul, and there simply aren't many options like this available for our clients, especially for those who are looking to move to Istanbul to live and experience everything this amazing city has to offer. This project is unique in that these homes are located on the Black Sea coast with their own private beach. In other words, this is a request from clients that is not so easy to fulfill, let's say, when they want to live in Istanbul, in the center of such a vibrant business life, have access to the diverse infrastructure of a big city, and at the same time live in a quiet, green place, and importantly, also be close to the sea, to swim and enjoy the sea. Because when clients reach out, they don't see Istanbul as a beach holiday destination. In that case, they look at properties on the coast, but there are people who want to live on the coast and at the same time use the infrastructure year-round to work, study, and live a full urban life, but in their own little oasis, so to speak, of beach resort living. Here, it's like getting two in one. That's what makes this project unique. Let's probably start with your company, just a few words, and then move on to the project.
For a very long time, we have been working as a reputable and, so to speak, very popular real estate agency in Turkey. Our main office is located in Istanbul. We develop and sell real estate in Bodrum, on the coast in Alanya, in Antalya, as well as in Istanbul. Of course, today we will highlight one of the flagship projects in our portfolio. Its main feature, without a doubt, is its location. Şile is a picturesque district on the Black Sea coast, notable for the fact that 70% of the area is covered by pine forest. Moreover, the most important fact is that it is the closest district to Istanbul with blue flag beaches. So, of course, this area is very attractive for recreation, both for locals and for tourists. That is why, first and foremost, as developers, we chose this location to build this elite cottage community. In fact, Şile stands out for its mild climate, while also having a well-developed urban infrastructure. There are hospitals, clinics, everything needed for comfortable living. At the same time, it is still considered a resort area, the closest one to Istanbul and one of the most popular, just 40 to 50 minutes away from Istanbul's business center. So it truly offers this harmony of peaceful seclusion, comfortable living and relaxation, while still being close to a vibrant city. So what exactly does the complex itself consist of? There are 13 standalone villas. The project site includes 18 two-story townhouses of the 2+1 type, meaning they have 2 bedrooms as well as 4 standalone villas. Of course, a signature feature of this project apart from the use of very high-quality materials is that everything is monitored at every stage of construction. Right now, the complex is under construction and the foundation has already been poured. The project is scheduled to be commissioned in June 2026. And of course, as of today, we have 7 townhouses and 2 villas available for sale. Now, about the project itself, what does it offer? In addition to each townhouse and villa having its own private garden, there is also direct access to a private beach. There are literally only 2 or 3 such projects in all of Istanbul. Here, within walking distance, just a 2-minute walk from your villa, you have your own private beach, only 200 meters away. The water is wonderful and the beach is absolutely pristine. Moreover, there's a huge lounge area, a beach club, a sauna, a hammam, and a complete range of social infrastructure. There is a separate area designated for hobby gardens, each of which belongs individually and is divided between the townhouses and villas. And in addition to all this, of course, there is the most important feature, the sea view. Every townhouse and every villa offers a view of the sea.
And here, I'd really like to emphasize that this is truly a unique project in terms of its views. After all, there are actually very few projects with views in Istanbul. And if you've noticed on our slide, they're all built in a very interesting way. I see that here, for many of them, at least from the second floor, there is indeed a sea view. So it's built a bit on an elevation. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. In fact, the project was designed in such a way that literally every townhouse, both the upper and lower types, has a view.
A full sea view. I have a question right away. There, yes, it's basically set apart, which is very good. How close is the infrastructure itself, or do you only need a car here? What about public transport, if you want to get around by public transport?
It's possible to get around by public transport as well, because Şile, first and foremost, is an urban type district. So within this district, there are all kinds of hospitals, schools, shops, shopping centers, in other words, the full infrastructure. If we're talking about the seclusion of the complex itself, it's literally just 10 to 15 minutes from the center of Şile. Of course, most of the clients and visitors who are already coming to see the construction site use their own cars. But there is also the option to get here by public transport. Buses run here. And in fact, there's a bus stop just about 200 meters from the complex.
For those who want to take a walk, not use a car, so there's no strict dependence on having one.
So it's basically an elite cottage community. That's why, of course, transportation is provided here. At the very least, there are minibuses and buses. But naturally, most people prefer to rent their own car. You can do this either in Istanbul itself or in Şile, and then easily drive around the area, because there are many picturesque spots, beaches, attractive locations, and restaurants. All of this is close by.
So let's move on to the layouts in more detail.
Sure.
In other words, let's talk a bit more about what's inside, so to speak.
Look, right now we have both villas and townhouses available for sale. On the screen, we currently have a 4+1 villa, meaning 4 bedrooms with very comfortable layouts. The total area of this villa is 385 square meters. If we're talking about the net area, without including the garden or the terrace, it's 245 square meters of net space. So it's quite a large villa. A separate parking space is also provided. There is, so to speak, direct access to your own garden and terrace. Very high quality materials are used, and there is a smart home system. Of course, the price already includes your own kitchen and a walk-in closet. And now we can move on to discuss the townhouses in more detail. There are 2 types of townhouses. Right now on the screen, you can see the lower type townhouse, which is 2 stories and also has its own parking space. The net area of this townhouse is 103 square meters. And if we include the private garden, the total area is 240 square meters. And now let's move on to the upper type townhouse. The difference is literally just 10 to 15 square meters. But of course, those who want a full sea view from every room prefer the upper townhouse. It's worth mentioning the price difference between them is $100,000. The lower townhouse is $750,000, and the upper one is $850,000. Depending on the client's readiness, there's a flexible installment plan with either a 30% down payment or a 50% down payment, with installments available for up to 2 years.
All right, then I have a question. Basically, if you buy this house not for your own living, but for renting it out and then reselling it, also, for example, for citizenship, which is currently in high demand, and for passport, let me remind you, under the citizenship program, you need to purchase real estate worth at least $400,000. These properties are eligible for the program. And if the potential client does not plan to live in it or rent it out, so how can you make money from it? Obviously, since it's already at the construction stage, yes, this will be a new property. And of course, in a few years, it will be easier to sell than buying something already finished on the secondary market. The newer the property, so to speak, the higher it will be valued later on the secondary real estate market. Or, for example, invest during the construction phase before it's finished and then sell the completed property. But still, regarding rental, here I'd like to clarify, how much can you earn from renting it out? How does it work? And who will manage the property? How does all of this happen?
Yes, Julia, that's a very good question, because it really allows us to highlight the fact that in addition to being a real estate agency and developers, we also manage projects in Turkey. And this particular complex, once it is commissioned, will also be directly managed by us under our own brand, which is already successfully managing a similar complex in Bodrum today. And if we talk now about the income that owners receive, for example, using the complex in Bodrum as an example, a similar type also built by us, which was commissioned only this year, we can say that literally 15% of the total income from the pool system is paid to us as the management company, and the remainder is distributed among the owners. If we talk about this area, about this particular project, then of course, looking ahead, in addition to expecting an increase in the prices of the apartments, townhouses, and villas themselves, many clients who are already buying now are also planning to sign a management contract with us in the future. Because the location itself is remarkable in that this is the only complex with its own private beach. There are no similar properties in that area. There are very few like this in Istanbul. They are located in more residential districts or in places where people generally don't prefer to swim. Here, we're talking about a resort.
Yes, let's say there will be a shortage of such properties in the coming years. There haven't been that many of them, and I've been working with Turkey for many years. Such properties, of course, are rare. So let's take a closer look at this slide, which shows exactly where the district is located and what's nearby. And what, let's say, is the benefit of this location? The advantages.
Look, in just 40 to 50 minutes by car on the new direct highway, you can reach Istanbul's business center. So if you're talking about public connections, public transportation, you can get here, make a stop, get on a bus, and it goes directly to Şile, directly to the complex. Our project is located just 200 meters from the bus stop. As for the location, the complex is literally 10 minutes from the center of Şile, where schools, hospitals, and clinics are concentrated. In other words, it's right in the heart of the city's infrastructure.
So everything you need for permanent living, or if you come for a while,
Yes,
to rent, for example. It turns out that this object solves all problems.
of course. Many people also ask, for example, how to get here from Sabiha Gökçen or whether it's better to choose the new airport. Of course, we recommend choosing Sabiha Gökçen because the project is located on the Asian side and it's much faster to get here. You can reach the project in literally an hour to an hour and a half.
Thank you very much, Amina, for such an interesting and detailed presentation. For our potential viewers and clients, I'd like to remind you that all our contact information is listed below this video. Of course, within the framework of this webinar, this video, it's impossible to explain everything in detail, so I invite you to a personal consultation. You can do this via Zoom, or we can record a separate video for you. We will carefully select and recommend a property for you, or if you are in Istanbul, Amina will meet you and will be happy to show you the property so you can see and assess all the advantages of this project for yourself. Thank you very much, Amina.
Thank you, Julia.
Leave your contact information and we will send you the presentation and provide a detailed consultation answering all your questions.